some of the things I do, I don't even know what I'm doing out there myself, but I'm just trying to have fun and trying to do the best that I can do to help my team be successful.
Avery Johnson, from New Orleans to the NBA, Southern University's very own living legend. On March 25th, 1965, in New Orleans, Louisiana, one of Southern University's very own living legends was born. This young man with a modest style became known throughout the world for numerous accomplishments in the field of basketball and public service. This young man is none other than Southern University graduate, former NBA player, and Dallas Mavericks head coach, Avery Johnson. Join me as we take a closer look at Coach Johnson's journey from New Orleans to the NBA. Johnson began making news headlines in New Orleans as a high school senior in 1983 at St. Augustine High School. During that year, he led St. Aug to a 35-0 record in the Class 4A Louisiana State Championship. Little did he know, that would be the first of several championships. After making a name for himself in New Orleans during his high school career, he began his collegiate experience at New Mexico Junior College before moving on to Cameron University and finally Southern University. While at Southern University, Johnson's scoring output was modest, 9.2 points per game in 2 seasons. But his playmaking was spectacular. Johnson averaged 10.7 assists in 1986-87 season and 13.3 assists in the 1987-88 season, leading all NCAA Division I players both years.
We would have a heavy jump rope, maybe 25, 30 pounds, and it would wear me out, you know, and he would always, you know, come on, you can make it, do it, you can make it. And I think that jump rope, when we finished with it, both of us slam it up against the wall next to the weight room, and, you know, and it's like a determined type of slam, you know, that we accomplished something, and that went on to better things on the court when we would, you know, play the opposition.
He was the Southwestern Athletic Conference Player of the Year and MVP of the conference tournament as both a junior and senior. And those who knew Avery were certain that he was destined for success.
Well, when Avery was a student here at Southern playing basketball, and Avery and I got to talk a lot. We talked on various issues. We talked about the good things that were going on and talked about things when they weren't going well. And you know, the one thing is that Avery dad, if he could have his way, Avery would have played baseball. Very few people know that his dad really wanted him to be a baseball player. But you know what? I'm so glad he never touched baseball and he became a basketball player.
In addition to leading the NCAA in assists in each of his 2 years at Southern, he still owns several NCAA Division I records, including most assists in a single game, the highest single season assist average, and the highest career assist average. Southern University is proud to have graduates who have made tremendous accomplishments and strides, such as Avery Johnson.
He is probably one of the most humble person that I've met. Just sitting down and talking to him, you think about where life has taken him, coming out of New Orleans, living in the projects, to go on to reach the heights that he's reached, and yet he keeps the common touch. So if I had to describe him as a person, I'd say he's a very humble person, very knowledgeable, very talented, but always maintaining his humility.
Upon graduation in 1988, Johnson spent a summer season with the USBL's Palm Beach Stingrays. After that, Johnson was signed by the Seattle Supersonics and managed to spend the next 16 years playing in the NBA, including teams such as the Denver Nuggets, the Houston Rockets, the Golden State Warriors, and the Dallas Mavericks.
What we saw in Avery was his innate ability to play the game of basketball, his unselfishness, and it just appeared that the basketball was an extension to him. And, you know, of course, at Southern, he led the nation in assists. And all of those things, and also him being, you know, unselfish on the court, off the court, just a very quality human being. And I just think that if Southern is turning out those types of human beings that you should be really, really proud.
Johnson is most well known for his time with the San Antonio Spurs, where he made tremendous contributions to the team during the years 1991, 1992-93, and 1994 through 2001. Particularly known and admired for his leading role on the 1999 Spurs team, Johnson helped take home the NBA championship title against the New York Knicks, where the nation watched and cheered along as he successfully made the victorious jump shot in Game 5.
11 three-pointers in the entire series.
Minute to go, elimination game. Can New York hold them off?
Sean Elliott. Avery Johnson. Big hoop for Avery Johnson.
On March 28, 2003, while playing with the Mavericks, Johnson became the 75th player in league history to play 1,000 career games. At 5'11" he joined Calvin Murphy as the only other player under 6 feet in height to reach that milestone.
Well, from watching him coach when he's on TV, it's exactly like his coaching style. You know, he's a fierce competitor, very competitive, and you know, just the desire to win in anything. And I see those same attributes on the sideline as he coaches.